What's happening, man?
We're trying something a little bit new, so good to have Chad here. Look how much better looking Chad is than me. It's disgusting. Yeah. But so not only are we doing this Facebook Live, but it's now going to become a podcast. Right, Johnny? Potentially. We're trying. Yeah. So we're just going to be talking in the mics a little bit more. And so we have the option of rolling this into some sort of podcast after Facebook Live. Sure. So, I mean, all we had to do is turn the mics on, and then you got to upload it somewhere, I guess. Yeah. So that's why you're on mic. So we can really hear you, Johnny. This is nice.
We could call it the barbershop.
Sure. Sure, that'd be an original name.
I just heard LeBron's litigation team start up the car to come here.
Yeah. We could call it the locker room. How about that? We could call our radio station the Fan. All just completely original ideas that nobody's ever thought of before and connected to sports.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so we decided to do this sort of because of we had such a great topic last week. Favorite baseball movies.
Yes, but we stumbled into that. We didn't know we were going to have that. So
what won?
So there's no pressure in coming out with a great topic today because we've not prepared for this moment whatsoever.
What won the best baseball movies? What was?
We talked about it for a half hour.
I think it's The Sandlot, but
Sandlot's one of the worst. Let's not go down that. Let's not go down that wormhole. Do you have a favorite sports movie?
Favorite sports movie?
Yeah,
man. I like Ali. That's a fantastic movie.
I thought it fell short. I thought it didn't tell enough of the story. It just led up to a certain point and it stopped.
Well, I mean,
it wasn't even close to painting a picture of his entire life or career.
It wasn't supposed to be.
I know. It's just about that one fight in Africa.
A glimpse, yeah. Gosh, I mean,
I guess that was okay. Then don't call it Ali. Call it Rumble in the Jungle.
Okay.
Right. And then I know it's about. When the movie ended, I was like, that's it. I mean, I know there's a lot more. But anyways.
Well, 42 was only Jackie Robinson's first season.
Right.
Yeah, that really didn't tell the story. And then it focused way too much on Branch Rickey. But we already had this. Does Rudy make you cry?
No.
Rudy makes me cry every time. Every time. I'm such a stupid sucker for Rudy.
I get stuck on Remember the Titans whenever it comes on.
You do?
It's so Disney-esque, but it speaks to the core goodness of football. Particularly in that time with the racial divisions in that city, and then Denzel Washington's character becoming the head coach, replacing a Hall of Fame white coach. But I've seen that football experience replicated my entire life, where people from different backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, economic backgrounds come together to form a team to go out and do something awesome. And it does more than just bring those people together.
Yeah.
It brings the city together. It brings the school together.
Yeah.
It lifts school spirit.
There you go. That's good.
And that movie, again, in a very Disney way, illustrates that core goodness of football that I love so much.
All right, let's stop talking about movies because we literally just did this.
I had a good follow-up question.
Okay. All right.
Just real quick one.
Go ahead.
Does it matter if the movie is more centered around the sport, or is it? Can you allow for movies that have, use the sport aspect of it as a storytelling device? Like Radio wasn't really a sports movie, but
no. I think to be a sports movie, sports have to be a central part of the story. You can't just be a person who played sports and the movie focuses on the rest of your life and call it a sports movie. And
so For Love of the Game is more of a romantic drama comedy thing.
Yes.
But baseball is a pretty big part of it. It's works all the way to the end of the movie.
Yeah, I feel like it's just more of a narrative device, though.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
What's Invictus?
I don't know. That's a true story.
That's a sports movie or a history movie?
Sports movie.
Well, it can be. You can have both historic sports.
Well, occasionally, what's Miracle?
I'd say that's like a historic fiction, not fiction, but historic retelling.
What about the Marky Mark movie with the Philadelphia Eagles?
Invincible. Loved Invincible.
Movie.
That's like a historic movie with like a Disney twist.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a Disney twist. It really happened.
Yeah. That's what
like the amazing thing about Invincible, aside from Vince Papale is actually like 6'3", and Marky Mark's my height.
5'8", right.
But it really was true. Like those things. I mean, they slightly fudged things in terms of his touchdown, but he really did recover a special teams a kick, a punt or whatever for a touchdown. That really did happen. He really did make the team. He played there for 3 years. I mean, that really all happens.
But the night before his tryout, he did not play mud football with his brothers and
Probably
bar buddies.
not. Probably
That
not.
was
That's
the Disney-esque part of the
That was
movie.
probably made up.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his girlfriend probably wasn't as attractive as
Oh, she was so hot. Oh my Lord. My goodness.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That's Elizabeth Banks, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she's good looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in
Breaking news.
Hunger Games, but
Yeah.
she's not so much in that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So-
Anyways, any questions, or did we just go down this wormhole and we cannot get out of it? We're probably.
I love talking about movies. I went to the
Yeah,
movies
obviously. Enough with the movies. Is there anything else that you want to talk to us? Is there anything else going on?
What'd you guys do this weekend? That's my go-to Monday topic.
This weekend was got together. It was Easter yesterday. We got together with family. I actually went to a very cool place. We kind of did a family thing, and then my sister-in-law and her boyfriend. That's complicated, but they bought he bought a place in Lohi. How familiar are you? Oh, Rhino. Sorry, not Lohi. Rhino. Sorry. Big difference. How familiar are you with Rhino?
Quite.
Interesting place.
Very cool.
Yeah, I've been there before, but we really spent time like walking the neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen like the graffiti art that's in the Rhino district?
Pretty sweet.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I bet most people in Denver do not know that exists down there, and there's a lot of it, and it's really cool.
Yeah, one of my favorite pizza places is Cart Driver down there in Rhino.
What streets ish?
Larimer
and 30-something?
Somewhere over there.
Something like that, yeah. So that's their neighborhood, like 34th and Blake, I believe, something along that area. So we did, and there's a place called the Zeppelin something or other, and these old warehouses are being converted into workspace. So it's kind of like this, like it's a mall food court area down below, but there's bars, and the food is eclectic. It's not just like, the Chick-fil-A things of the world. It's like Indian food and French food and Brazilian. It's really different, really cool. So I had some Indian food that I normally wouldn't have, and we kind of hung out in this area, and we toured and walked around the neighborhood. I really enjoyed seeing part of Denver. Well, I've lived here since 1999, but it's really exploring an area of Denver I've not been to before, and the revitalization of these areas. I mean, I used to leave those games at Coors Field, and you would just drive through the train tracks and empty buildings and just nothing. And now you go there, and there are big time neighborhoods with stores, shops, restaurants,
Parks.
Well, not so much parks. Not in this area. It's pretty.
There's a park just a block away from Lambert.
You know what I saw?
There's a vegetable garden over there.
I saw that. We walked.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's okay, but that's in a parking lot. It's not a park. It's in a parking. The one I saw is just in a parking lot.
There's like a park a block away from that vegetable garden.
I'll tell you something really cool. I saw a lot, and there were tiny homes, and I was told that this lot of tiny homes is for people to get back on their feet, some sort of incentive and the city has set it up. And they can, they're tiny little homes. You could put them on a trailer and move them all over the place. And there was maybe a dozen of these tiny homes. And I thought, how cool is that? That the city has this little area that they're trying to produce for people to get back on their feet. I'm sure you have to qualify somehow to get housing in there. And I'm sure there's a process to get out so somebody else can come in there. I live out in the burbs, Chad. Who knew that there was even something like that down there? So I really enjoyed that quite a bit. And that was yesterday for me.
All right, for me, I drove back from Arizona.
Oh my!
So while
you just drove back yesterday?
While you were exploring Rhino, I went as far south in Colorado as I had ever been.
Oh, what's that?
I had never been past Colorado Springs.
So did you go through Durango, the Durango area to go that way?
No, I went down all the way down 25.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. So you went past Trinidad.
I went through Trinidad. I had never been to Trinidad before.
Yeah.
Al's
kid went to school there.
Which is a border town.
Yeah.
Which has
it's the sex change capital of the world.
I did not know that. It was okay.
It was. It's not anymore.
It's not anymore.
Oh, okay.
It is, in my opinion, probably the most concentrated area of weed shops in Colorado.
Yep. There's a lot down there. I saw there was a was it 60 Minutes or something like that. There and there was some sort of, it was huge. It was a big buildup, and They had some sort of county law. They were about to vote them out, and it didn't pass. I don't know. There's something about that.
Yeah, but there's
Yeah,
one
it's
street.
huge down there.
There's
yeah.
one street where every storefront is a weed shop on both sides of the street.
They have huge weed farms down in that area. Yeah.
So, again, I never gone past Colorado Springs. So on Monday, I drove to Arizona. And so on Friday, we came back, stopped in Albuquerque on Friday. On Saturday morning, got up in Albuquerque.
Albuquerque's a cool little town, don't you think?
Drove home on Saturday.
Yeah.
Albuquerque's cooler than Santa Fe. Santa Fe is
Really?
not as cool as Albuquerque from a traveler perspective, choice of hotels, choice of food perspective.
I spent a long weekend in Albuquerque. I was really surprised by it. I actually had a great time. We were down there for a baseball tournament. I was happily surprised by my time in Albuquerque. I have not spent any time in Santa Fe, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, first road trip with 2 dogs in the back seat. You know,
I
fun
can't
sometimes.
believe you drove to Arizona. So I mean, I'm not sure why you did that or what that was all about. I mean, flying into Arizona is like the cheapest thing in the world and so ridiculously easy. I mean, I'm sure you've done it a million times. So why did you do it?
If you have dogs
Yeah.
and you love your dogs and you want them to go into a good kennel and you don't book kennel space around spring break time, like in January,
It's hard to find here.
you're not going to find any place for your dog.
Did you get shut out in dog kennel space?
Yes. Well, there's always
So you
space.
ended up driving because you couldn't find a place to keep your dogs?
Essentially, yeah.
Oh my God, that is poor planning.
But
Wow.
it's not a bad drive. 6 hours one day, 6 hours the next day. It's not a bad drive at all.
Oh my God, I hated it.
Yeah,
I did it one
you
time. It
didn't-
was awful.
You don't not the straight shot. You don't do that.
Maybe that was my problem because I did a straight shot coming back.
12
and-
hours is brutal. That's
Oh.
brutal. 6 hours is easy. You know, you're able to have breakfast and lunch before you leave, do some stuff in the afternoon, dip in a pool before you go. You're on the road by 3. You're checking into the hotel by 9. You get a good night's sleep. You wake up decently early the next day, grab lunch on the road. You're home like before dinner. It's easy. Driving 12 hours straight through, you're wiped out. Your back is sore. That sucks. Plus, the dogs would have revolted if I'd tried to go 12 hours straight with them.
Well, there you go. Did you have good conversations with your wife?
We just have good conversations. We,
It's a long time, just you and the wife.
yeah, the
Got to figure out if you get along after all these years.
my iPod is the old school with the big connector for the battery charge.
Yeah.
So that died. So we got about a couple hours of music. Then we got to talk.
Hey, what's going
Yeah.
on, wifey?
There's parts that you can't get radio on that trip too. Like,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
go,
So we
you know,
literally just, you catch up, you talk, you talk about the kids and everything else and what we're going to do next and all that good stuff.
Did
That
you
was a good
stand on a corner in Winslow, Arizona? Because you
No.
go through Winslow,
You do?
through that way. If you go through Albuquerque,
We did that, and we actually took a detour, Chad, and we went to the Four Corners. The Four Corners may be the worst tourist attraction I've ever seen in my life. So we were with our kids, and you don't have to go too far out of your way to do it. On the way back, we did that. Oh my God, it was so sad. I shouldn't rip on it, but it's
not in the
first of
right
all,
place either.
the number one thing is it's not the Four Corners. Like geographically,
Yeah.
it's actually not even close. It's not off by like 10 or 5 feet. It's off by like a couple of miles or even more, like
Wow.
7 miles. So they just screwed it up when they figured out where it was. The real Four Corners apparently is in the middle of the desert someplace, and who really knows? Who really cares? But you make a big deal, and then there's that circle, and we can all be in 4 different states. You're not. And then here's what you don't know. Around the Four Corners, they sell booths, and people sell their trinkets in the booths. And this is where it gets, a little depressing because there aren't really towns or areas near Four Corners. So the people that do live close enough to actually maintain a booth and sell their trinkets, I mean, it's like, the worst thing is when you go to a tourist trap and you get bummed out because of the locals that are there trying to hawk their wares at this really sad sort of thing. So it was absolutely, I was like, wow, why did we do this? But we did it. Don't do it. I would never, ever go to the Four Corners, period. You're not really at the Four Corners. And unless you're willing to buy a lot of, I'm sure very important trinkets to those people because that's how they, help make their living. So I'm not putting that down, but be prepared to get some of that jewelry or whatever that stuff was. Heads up.
Petrified wood.
Well, it's stuff like that,
Yeah.
Now, Johnny, you're nodding your head. You know what I'm talking about then,
yeah.
right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Have you gone there?
No.
Oh.
But I went through the town that sells all the petrified wood.
Yeah.
As you're coming through outside of Arizona, so there's that whole tourist trap. Then as you're driving, there's all the Indian shops.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about being a tourist. Because inevitably, when you go to something that you're excited to see, anywhere, you're going to run into somebody who works there that is bored as hell to be part of that exhibit. I don't care what it is. If you were standing next to the Mona Lisa, there's going to be a tour guide in the Louvre that cannot stand the Mona Lisa. If you go see the Eiffel Tower, there's going to be a tour guide running the elevator who is just bored stiff of the Eiffel Tower. If you go to Mount Rushmore, there's going to be a park guide, unless they're elderly, and the elderly get excited about everything. That's why I love the elderly. But there's going to be somebody that's going to be really bored about Mount Rushmore. Tell me I'm not speaking the truth about this.
You are.
Right?
You are.
And
Now-
it just takes, it's like, oh, here we are. And inevitably there's somebody that lives 10 minutes from it that, hates it.
As a kid, we lived in California. My dad's family lived on the East Coast, mainly in Pennsylvania and North Carolina. So we would drive from California to North Carolina. So I stopped at every tourist spot along the way. We did those trips probably 6 times in total.
Yeah.
So I've got no interest as an adult to go anywhere near those places.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.
I can't
I did
blame
as a
you.
kid. They were always terrible. It was always a huge disappointment.
Yeah.
The world's biggest ball of yarn.
All that crap.
Or twine.
Right.
Or barbed wire.
You saw it, though.
Or yes. I've seen them as a kid. I'm good.
And your parents kind of checked that off the list.
Thankfully, because I know I don't have to do it as an adult.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I tell my kids, it sucks. You don't want to do it, kid.
Right. But I felt like
And my kids got iPhones. They got much
I
cooler
feel
things
you.
to do.
We did a cross-country trip. I haven't done that, but I thought my kids, before they go to college, need to see New York City. Okay? So we've been to New York City. They should see Boston. My son was in love with Toronto, so we've seen Toronto. So we've seen Los Angeles. We've seen San Francisco. You know what I mean? It's like that sort of thing. Because I just felt like it was important. They've been to Dallas. They've been to Minnesota. They've traveled enough. I've sort of spared them the misery of just driving across I-70 across the country, through Kansas and
Way too many times.
other horrible places.
I-5, is that the one that goes across? No, I-10?
I-5 is
From,
up and
like,
down North
LA?
California.
I
So
am
I-10
I may be
yes,
doing the
yes.
drive from Southern California to Northern California in June.
That's not a bad drive
So
at all.
that should be kind of all right.
And you
What's
can-
it take to get from Los Angeles to San Fran?
5 hours if you go the fast way. If you want to go along the coast, much
I want to
prettier
go along the
drive,
coast, yeah.
It's going to take you about 7 or 8 hours.
Ooh,
But
dear.
it's a much, much nicer drive. It's beautiful.
Well, maybe we'll stop and see some colleges along the way and make
Yeah.
it worth our while.
So you can
that
literally
sort of thing.
take, Pacific Coast Highway, PCH, Route 1,
We're gonna-
all the way up.
We're scheduled to go see the University of California, Santa Barbara, which I hear is like the most beautiful
Oh,
campus in the
it's-
world.
My goodness.
Is it unbelievable?
Oh, yeah. And it's more coastal, so it's not inland where those fires
It's
are.
right on the water.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Stunning. Stunning.
Cool. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vacation plans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chad Brown and DMac.
Yeah. There it is. I've done nothing. You realize Alfred's barely worked this year, and I have not taken a day off. You realize that, right? I have not had one. I've been up to Laramie, okay, but we worked that
Small
day.
hospital.
You don't have to feel sorry for me, but I'm going to be a ghost in June. I've got some, big time travel plans in the month of June. So, but in order to afford June and a little bizarre side travel to Lubbock in July, that's another thing. Besides that, that's been it. It's been the longest time in 2 years where I've gone like nowhere since basically we got back from the Super Bowl. That's why I was so excited to go to Laramie. It was just something to do, somewhere to
Because
go.
no one's ever excited to go to Laramie.
Right.
I was so excited. I had such a good time there. I had a blast going to Laramie. I think I was there for 7 hours.
That's
It
about
was fantastic.
That's about the length
Of
that
a
you
visit to
wanna be
Laramie.
in Laramie.
I think I saw it all. I don't know what else I could see. I saw the stadium. I saw Josh Allen up close and personal. He's like a hero up there. I saw the sports bar, the library that Josh Allen and his family went to, so that place has to be pretty cool.
Did you actually see the school? I didn't see any school.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
It's there. It's right next to the stadium.
I called a game at the University of Wyoming. Josh Allen played the quarterback that game.
Yeah, they may want to think about more stands.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I've never seen a stadium that's empty on both sides. That's like high school.
Yeah, it's a little weird. It's a little weird.
It's a little weird, right?
Yeah, I called a game there. I picked up lunch at the library as I was heading back out of town.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
saw a little bit of campus. That was enough for me, and I got the heck out of town.
Don't lie to your parents. Tell them you were at the library. Tracy Ringlesby gave me that one. Thank you, Tracy. He loves Wyoming. Oh, my God. Oh, my Lord. He loves Wyoming.
DMac, he'll be here all week.
You like the beer, by the way? How long should I let it go?
That's good enough.
You think so?
Yeah.
Bye, Facebook.
Like, when does it come crazy insano? Kind of when you can do that, it actually sticks out. Like, I'm nuts.
Bye, Facebook.